Welcome to Spiritual Calisthenics.
Christ is in our midst. Today, on Thursday, December 14th, we commemorate the holy martyrs Thyrsus, Leucius, and Callinicus of Asia Minor, and Philemon, Apollonius, and Arian of Alexandria. Regarding Saint Thyrsus, Leucius, and Callinicus, the martyrs. Of these, the martyrs who were from Asia Minor contested for piety's sake during the reign of Decius in the year 250. Saint Leucius, seeing the slaughter of the Christians, reproached the governor Cumbricius, for which he was hung up, harrowed mercilessly on his sides, then beheaded. For boldly professing himself a Christian and rebuking the governor for worshipping stocks and stones as gods, Saint Thyrsus, after many horrible tortures, was sentenced to be sawn asunder. But the saw would not cut, and became so heavy in the executioner's hands that they could not move it. Saint Thyrsus then gave up his spirit at Apollonia in the Hellespont. Saint Callinicus, a priest of the idols, was converted through the martyrdom of the miracles of Saint Thyrsus and was beheaded. During the reign of Diocletian, the governor of Antioch in the Thebaid of Upper Egypt was Arian, a fierce persecutor who had sent many Christians to a violent death, among them Saints Timothy and Mavra, Saint Sabine. And when he had imprisoned Christians for their confession of faith, one of them, named Apollonius, a reader of the church, lost his courage at the sight of the instruments of torture, and thought how he might escape torments without denying Christ. He gave money to Philemon, a flute player and a pagan, that he might put on Apollonius' clothes and offer sacrifice before Arian, so that all would think Apollonius to have done the governor's will, and he might be released. Philemon agreed to this, but when the time came to offer sacrifice, enlightened by divine grace, he declared himself a Christian instead. He and Apollonius, who also confessed Christ when the fraud was exposed, were both beheaded. Before beheading them, Arian had commanded that they be shot with arrows, but while they remained unharmed, Arian himself was wounded by one of the arrows. St. Philemon foretold that after his martyrdom, Arian would be healed at his tomb. When this came to pass, Arian the persecutor, who had slain so many servants of Christ, himself believed in Christ and was baptized with 4 of his bodyguards. Diocletian heard of this and had Arian and his bodyguards brought to him. For their confession of Christ, they were cast into the sea and received the crown of life everlasting. Your martyrs, O Lord, in their courageous contest for you, received as the prize the crowns of incorruption and life from you, our mortal God. For since they possessed your strength, they cast down the tyrants and wholly destroyed the demon's strengthless presumption. O Christ God, by their prayers, save our souls, since you are merciful. As we gather on this day, let us all honor with divine and sacred songs the luminaries of the church as we extol them with hymns of praise as trophy bearers and martyrs of Christ our God. From St. Paul's letter to Titus. Titus, my son, appoint elders as priests in every town as I directed you. If any man is blameless, the husband of one wife, and his children are believers and not open to charge of being profligate or insubordinate. So these are the first metrics of what a bishop should be looking for in a priest. For a bishop, as God's steward, must be blameless. He must not be arrogant or quick-tempered or a drunkard or violent or greedy for gain, but hospitable, a lover of goodness, master of himself, upright, holy, and self-controlled. He must hold firm to the sure word as taught, so that he may be able to give instruction in sound doctrine, also to confute those who contradict it. This is the reason why bishops, when they are ordained or consecrated, as it were, they are consecrated at the period of the gospel, right before the gospel is read, because bishops are the defenders and teachers of the truth. For there are many insubordinate men, empty talkers and deceivers, especially the circumcision party, those that are saying that you have to be a Jew first before you can be a Christian. They must be silenced, since they are upsetting the whole families by teaching for base gain what they have no right to teach. One of themselves, a prophet of their own, said, Cretans are always liars, evil beasts, lazy gluttons. This testimony is true. Therefore rebuke them sharply, that they may be sound in faith, instead of giving heed to Jewish myths or to command of men who reject the truth. So we see these kind of baseless statements, these very racist, bigoted statements sometimes made, and even made by church leaders in various regions. This is not of the church and should be rejected soundly. The Gospel according to St. Mark. At that time the disciples kept the word of Jesus to themselves, questioning what the rising from the dead meant. They asked him, Why did the scribes say that first Elijah must come? And he said to them, Elijah does come first to restore all things. And how is it written of the Son of Man that he should suffer many things and be treated with contempt? But I tell you that Elijah has come, and they did to him whatever they pleased, as it is written of him." This is referring to the transfiguration of Mount Tabor, in which Jesus Christ and the 3 disciples that went with him, Peter, James, and John, saw Elijah and Moses on either side of Christ. But Christ told them, "Don't tell anyone about this until after the resurrection." And when they came to the disciples, they saw a great crowd about them, and the scribes were arguing with them. And immediately all the crowd, when they saw him, were greatly amazed, and ran up to him and greeted him.
I hope that you've enjoyed today's Spiritual Calisthenics. Have a blessed and wonderful day.